G'day guys, welcome back to the Rugby League Guru podcast. We have got the third and final week of trials coming your way this weekend. A lot of full strength sides, a lot of superstars out for the first time for season 2025 getting out there this weekend. So very, very exciting. Today's episode brought to you by our partners in crime, Neds. Go and jump onto the Neds app, follow along with the Guru profile and join the Rugby League Guru open group there. You can follow along with all my bets throughout the entire season. They've got their popular same game multis in there as well, where you can copy a bet, change it, adjust it, take legs out, add legs. You can do whatever you want in there. So make sure you go and jump onto the Neds app and follow along there. Kathmandu, how are we? Welcome in. What's doing?
Just excited for another weekend of footy. We've got a nice trip planned on Tuesday. We're finally heading off to the old Las Vegas. I'm so excited. I haven't been there since I was 9 years old, so I feel like the experience is going to be quite different.
Yeah.
But no, very excited. So lots of footy action and then straight into Vegas.
Yeah, I haven't been there since I was 32, so I'm very, very excited to see how it plays out. But yeah, we'll be in Vegas next week, so our episode will be coming to you live from LV. Whether we're in a studio, hotel room, we'll work it out next week. But that'll be very, very exciting. We'll still be here to preview those Las Vegas games next week.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay.
Kat, let's rip and tear. Take an early carry. There's no Thursday night game, which has broken my heart if I'm completely honest, but I will hold it together until Friday, 6 p.m. What have we got?
Well, lucky people can watch this on their Thursday afternoon in with a lack of footy. Okay, so there's a double header on Friday that will kick off all the action. We have this double header taking place at Leichhardt Oval. Action kicks off at 6 p.m. Manly Sea Eagles against the Panthers.
Now, the Manly Sea Eagles in this one, $1.16 on Neds. Very, very short favourites. Obviously, the Penrith Panthers, they have named none of their first graders, essentially. They will all be on the plane to Las Vegas. So as far as trials go, the Manly Sea Eagles have landed themselves in a pretty good spot here. They'll be running out not entirely full strength. DC and Turbo not featuring in this one, but Manly very fair, $1.16. Favourites there. For me, guys, I think the Manly Sea Eagles, I think this is probably the most boring game of the week, if I'm completely honest, because there really isn't all that much doing. Anytime try scorers in this one, Reuben Garrick, just too elite. A guy that I think is going to have an enormous season. He's at $2.15 on Neds, so I'm happy to take Reuben Garrick. But as I said, guys, not the most entertaining game of the week. I only think the Manly Sea Eagles put their best side out for a half or so, and then I think they'll make mass changes. Obviously, no Turbo, no DCE, as I said, so it's not like Manly's putting their full side out there. They'll be ready to go for round one, but a little bit of a non-event to kick off week 3 of the trials. The second game of the doubleheader, Cat, what have we got?
West Tigers versus Parramatta Eels. West Tigers nice at home at Leichhardt Oval. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, this is one that I'm a lot more excited about. A few highlights here. We get to see Zach Lomax in Parramatta colours for the very first time. That'll be unreal. I obviously got Adam Dewey playing in the halfback jersey with still no sign of Jerome Luai. I assume he'll be good for round one, but I'm keen to see Dewey go round in the halves on scanner. Just keen to see him out playing some footy there. Brett Naden as well, absolutely lit it up in the All-Stars the other day, really fighting for that centre spot. Stafford Toa also there. Get another look at Jarrell Skelton, but for me, the most exciting part about the West Tigers, Terrell May. We get to see him line up for the first time and terrorise the Eels. Very keen to see how this season plays out for him. Alex Seyfarth has been one of my breakout players that I've been talking about all preseason. I think he goes big. I think he plays 80 minutes on the edge. And I'll tell you what, it fills me with confidence in this game to see him have the C next to his name. Very, very good. I think he's in for a huge season. Alex Seyfarth, looking to see how he goes. Jermaine Hopgood makes his return as well. And I'll tell you what, the closer we get to the start of this season, I'm pretty confident Kelma Tuolangi is locked in on the right-hand side. But, I mean, Katoga coming over from the Canterbury Bulldogs, I do wonder if he's actually a sniff for a round one debut. I personally think that if he can impress in this game, I think he can get that opportunity. So one to watch there, Jason Riles, new coach coming in. I think he's looking for guys that are going to stand up and are going to own jerseys. You've obviously got, it looks like to me, Cartwright's a little bit on the outside. I'm not sure if Madison's an edge anymore. We haven't seen Sean Lane yet. So I'm very keen to see how Katoga goes in this one. I think there's a world where he could get an edge there. So plenty to watch. From a betting perspective in this one, guys, I am going to go with Zach Lomax to score in his first game as a Parramatta Eel. $2.60. He'll be a kick target for Ronald Volkman, Moses and Dill Brown not featuring in this one, obviously. But Lomax, $2.60. I think there's always value there. And he scored last week. We backed him in last week. I'm happy to back him in again. Kelma Tuolangi, combination with Volkman was very, very impressive last week. I wouldn't be shocked to see him crash over as well. Alex Seyfarth is my other little smoky. I think he's in for a very good season. I wouldn't shock if he kicks it off with a meat pie in this trial. I'm going to take... Give me the Eels to win this one. I think the Eels will just slightly get home. Obviously, the Iongi and the Papali'i watch. We're watching that one very closely. Yeah, give me the Eels to slightly get home. I think Volkman's in for another big game. All right, Super Saturday, Kat, talk to me.
Super Saturday. I was just going to say, isn't it nice to see Ronald Volkman out there as well after everything that happened last year? It's just nice to see him getting his chance to play.
100%. Such a good kid.
Agreed. Okay, then on our Saturday action, it kicks off at 3 p.m. with the Dragons versus South. This is a Charity Shield. This one did change a little bit from yesterday, didn't it? And this one is taking place in Mudgee.
Yeah, obviously this game's sort of been turned on its head in the last 24 hours. I don't believe Cam Murray was playing regardless, but Latrell Mitchell obviously was. So Jai Gray, he will jump into the fullback jersey there. To be honest with you guys, I think the Dragons win this, and I think there's a world where they win it well. I think South Sydney could be a little bit rattled coming out of this week. No Trell Mitt, no Cody Walker, Cam Murray not featuring, still no Campbell Graham, and I think it'll really change the mood this week at South Sydney. I'm tipping they lose this game to the Dragons, and I think they could lose well. And then I'm tipping they come out in round one and Wayne Bennett gets them up and they knock over the Dolphins. I think that's how this will all play out. But I think the Dragons will win this one. And I'm going to take Clint Gutherson. The Charity Shield obviously means a lot to these two clubs. It's probably the best trial of the preseason, I would argue, or the most important trial of the preseason. And I can just see the Dragons' new skipper, Clint Gutherson, crossing over, $2.70 on Neds. Still got a few questions around the South Sydney edges and whatnot whilst they've got these injuries. So give me Gutho to cross at $2.70 and the Dragons to win that one. I think the Dragons could put on a little bit of a score in that game. They're pretty much full strength. Flano will have them up, and I think South Sydney will just be a little bit down this week. 5:30 game, Kat. Oh, another double header. How good. What do we got?
I know. We have another double header. Wow. Struggle to say that. This one's at KO Stadium. It starts at 5:30 p.m. with the Broncos taking on the Bulldogs.
This one's looking like a good game. Pretty much full-strength sides for both teams. The Broncos, I didn't expect Adam Reynolds to play in this one. He has been named. We'll wait and see if he runs out, but he has been named, so hopefully we do see him out there. And Michael Maguire, he's fired a few shots with this team list as far as what the round one side could look like. Shibasaki lining up in the centres has sort of come from the clouds to be there. And the rumours around Jack Goz replacing Brendan Piakura. Last week, Jack Goz was on the left. Piakura was shifted to the right because Jordan Ricky was playing All-Stars. Ricky's come back. He's now going to line up on the right, and Jack Goz is on the left-hand side. So Brendan Piakura is probably one of the most talented forwards, of that age group. But yeah, not in the side at the moment. So I'm very keen to see how this is all going to play out. I think you've got Dean Mariner, who's also on the extended bench with him. So Matt just firing a few shots early, and I think he's trying to get a response out of these guys. So keen to see how they go. For Canterbury, they are essentially full strength here. I think this is kind of how they will line up. The only player missing from this essentially is Satili Tupanua, who I don't believe has trained for the last few weeks. So I'm not sure if he will be there round one anyway. But I think this is pretty much how they will line up. Marcelo Montoya on one wing, Blake Wilson on the other. Obviously, Kiraz out of this team for the foreseeable future. I think it's a back injury. I want to wish Kiraz all the very best. Hopefully we see him back soon. Yeah, but this Bulldog side, I think that's pretty much how they will line up round one. Betting perspective, I'm going to take the Broncos to win this one up there on a fast track. Give me the Broncos to win this one and an anytime try scorer with Neds. He was fantastic last year. He scored so many tries, pretty much won a try for a game. Give me Reece Walsh, $2.40. I think he'll have a decent little blowout in this game. His first run in Broncos colours under Michael Maguire. $2.40 for Reece Walsh. I can see him getting on the end of a break there and crossing. So give me Reece Walsh, $2.40 on Neds. My other one to watch, he's at $2.75 on Neds. I'll be honest with you, the value isn't great. But Katoni Staggs, I am so intrigued to see how many runs of the football he has this weekend. Previously, he's averaged sort of between the 8 to 12 mark per game, which simply isn't enough. I want to see him push into that 16, 17 range. And under Michael Maguire, it wouldn't surprise me if he puts a rocket up his arse and tells him to go for it. So keep an eye on Tony Staggs this weekend. We could be looking at a new kind of guy. Broncos to win that one for me. Late game, Cap, what do we got? Bloody Queenslanders, they're at it again.
I know. Another Queensland derby. We see the Dolphins taking on the Titans at 7:30 p.m. This is another one I'm pretty keen for after that Titans performance last week.
You would have to assume, Kat, the Titans can't get worse than last week.
Yeah, exactly.
That was an absolute train wreck. Now, when I have a look at this game, the Dolphins, I wouldn't be surprised if there are some changes to this side, even at kickoff or during the game. There's a few just odd selections like Jack Bostock's obviously been named on the wing. He's been training at centre. Avrillo's been 5'8", now training at centre. I believe Junior Tupu had, all but sewn up a wing spot, so I'm not sure why he's on the bench. I think you will see changes here. You got Max Plath on the edge as well. Donahoe in jersey 9. He's going to make a real shake for the most versatile player in this competition over the next few weeks, I think. Very, very impressive. But yeah, keep an eye on this Dolphin side. I think you could see changes when they kick off or in game. As for the Titans, they're another side that I think you could see changes. So they've got De Groot at fullback, Alan Fitzgibbon on one wing, Tony Francis on the other. Still got Kieran Foran at 7. Now, they've come out and said that they are going to play Jaden Campbell and AJ Brimson in the halves. So I'm expecting you will see mass changes to this side. They've obviously got all the players coming back from All-Stars on the bench. Your Brian Kellys, your Keanu Keeneys, these sort of guys, Jaden Campbell. So I'm expecting all of them to come into the starting side. For that reason, I think there's a bit of value on the Titans. They've got something to prove after getting slapped last week. The Dolphins came out, put on a really good performance. I don't know. I've just got a feeling the Titans will get up for this one. I kind of like them in this game. So I think there is a little bit of value on them at $2.15. As far as an anytime try scorer in this one, as I said, I think he'll come into the starting side at fullback. I don't think the Titans can afford to not play decent minutes for their guys as well. I think they need to get a decent little hit out after last week's train wreck. Keanu Kenny, $3.45. I just think that value is ridiculous. The Dolphins' edges over the last year or so have struggled a little bit. There are new combinations and whatnot. And I think that if Jake Avrillo, whether he is a centre or 5'8", I think he'll be a guy they'll really try and spot up. So Keanu Kenny, $3.45 on Neds. I think there's some decent value there. Take me to Sunday afternoon, Kat Haddad.
Sunday afternoon. We're going to be right where you wish you were every single weekend, under the palm trees at Industry Group Stadium in Gosford. This one is Roosters taking on the Knights.
Really looking forward to this one. And I'll tell you what, I think there's a little bit of value on the Newcastle Knights at $2.65. The Roosters, obviously with new combinations still, they get Teddy back in this game. Connor Watson returns. Victor Radley back in. A lot of the stars are back in for this game. But the Knights get Kalen Ponga back. Look, the scoreline wasn't great for Newcastle last week. They made a lot of errors. But I like the way that they played their footy last week, and I think that this trial will probably mean a little bit more to the Knights than it will to the Roosters, and I can see the Knights probably leaving their best side out for a little bit longer than the Roosters as well. So $2.65, I think there is a bit of value on the Newcastle Knights. We saw him last week in the All-Stars game. Kalen Ponga was absolutely lighting it up. His touches were sky high, involvements were huge, and he just looked to have some real energy to him. So he's at $3.10, Kalen Ponga. It is simply too much for a guy like him. I think that left edge will be creating a lot down that side, and I can see him getting back on the inside of a break from a Bradman Best or a Greg Mars here. So give me KP at $3.10. If the Newcastle Knights are to go well this year, I think KP's going to have a big season. So I'm happy to take him this weekend. And I like the Knights at $2.65. I think there's value in an upset there for Newcastle on Neds. $2.65. That's juicy for me. Last game of the week, Kat, what do we got?
Last game of the weekend wraps up at Casey Fields in Melbourne. We have the Storm taking on the North Queensland Cowboys.
Now, off the back of last weekend, this is the belted from pillar to post cup this weekend. Both these teams. I know it's only trials and whatnot, but when you get your pants pulled down like both these teams did last week, you don't have to win your next week, but my God, you want to see a pulse. So I think both these teams, they really need to show something this weekend. The Melbourne Storm, they've named a lot of their stars. They haven't named all of them. Pappy not featuring in this one. Jerome Hughes not featuring in this one. But Cam Munster, we get our first look at him for season 2025, and I think he's going to be in for an enormous season. People are questioning if the Kangaroos 6 is his. People are questioning if the Queensland jersey is his. And there's a lot of people saying, fuck, I really like Tyron Wishart at 5'8". Cameron Munster finds himself in a very, very strange spot based on the rest of his career at the moment. And I just think he reminds everyone this year just how fucking good he is. So Cam Munster, one to watch in this game. The Cowboys essentially putting out their full strength side, which I think they need to off the back of last week and with all their new combinations. My anytime try scorer that I like, Braden Burns. It looks like he's going to line up on the right edge. The Drinky to Kyle Felt combo was one of the best of last season. Drinky loves coming down that right edge. Braden Burns at $2.30. I know it's the Melbourne Storm, but it's not really the Melbourne Storm. $2.30 for Braden Burns. I don't mind that value for him there on Neds, but I do think the Melbourne Storm at home get the job done here. All right, Kat, that is us done and dusted for Trials Week 3. How good. Next time we are with you guys, we will be recording live from Sin City, and there will be some sins committed. You best believe that. So brace yourself for next week. Cannot wait for that. And we'll see you soon on the Rugby League Guru Podcast.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website